We're here at the Nike ACG activation space for the UTMB in Chamonix. This store is special, come and check it out. The first thing we're going to check out, come to me, the Nike ACG Ultra Trail shoe. This is brand new, the colorway, fluorescent orange, this is cold. I love this trainer. Now, if you're a trail runner, this has to be in your stack. Let's talk about the science, follow me.
My name is Brendan McAleese. I'm the director of ACG Footwear, and this is the ACG UltraFly Trail. So the ACG UltraFly was really born out of an athlete ask, or really insight or challenge of could we make a super shoe for the trails? And it built off of the lineage of the UltraFly Trail, and it got a little bit more wild and a lot more super shoe with this update. This is our most tested shoe in Nike Trail history, with over 30,000 miles, so 1,000 kilometers run, and over 13 rounds of long-term wear testing. And so for us, that looks like an 8-week wear test with athletes of all ages and ability levels from around the globe.
And that was like the main immediate feedback that I gave them after that was, I got to be able to wear the same shoe for 100 miles straight. I can't be changing shoes twice. I lost 5 minutes doing that or something. I don't know exactly, but then after saying that, I got a few different versions with a few different densities of foam with something that felt much more durable. I then wore it for Transgran Canaria, and that was 80 miles, and that was a good test of like, is this going to hold up for the full 100 at Western States? And I wore the same pair all 80 miles at Transgran Canaria, and it felt good. And then Western States this year, wore one pair the entire time. It felt great the whole time.
So start with the outsole and go through some of the technical details. We have a Vibram light-based outsole with mega grip traction. That's giving you full rubber coverage for durability and traction and support out there on the trails, and light-based gives you a 30% lighter outsole than using traditional mega grip. Moving into the midsole, we have a ZoomX midsole, which is Nike's most responsive and lightest weight foam, giving you 85% energy return. And within that midsole, you have a full-length carbon fiber split plate. So here's our deconstructed midsole and plate, if you will. So we have a dual density ZoomX. You have a softer core, so going to give you that much more responsiveness directly underfoot, and then a firmer carrier that's going to give you that much more stability and support out there on the trail. And then wedged in between that is our carbon fiber split plate. So it's split down the middle, and what that allows you to do is it allows you to articulate and have that much more torsional flexibility and support. We know that no two steps are the same out there on the trail, and that allows you to really work with the terrain as opposed to the terrain working you. Now moving into the upper, we always say that the last comes first, and the last is the foot form that the entire upper of the shoe is built around, and it really is what gives you that overall shape and fit and feel out there on the trail. So this is a newer, wider last for us within the trail landscape, within the ACG landscape, offering a little bit more toe box width and height. We know that over the course of a training run, or especially a race, your feet are going to swell and change in shape and size, and that just offers a little bit more accommodation within the toe box and giving our runners comfort over the course of any run.
If you're a trail runner, this is the go-to. This colorway is cold, and to be honest, I would probably wear this just out and about in general. The Nike ACG UltraFly, what a trainer. This is brand new to the market, and it's definitely going in my rotation. Look at the colorway. That is freaking cold. Nike just don't miss. And you know what I love? The finer details on the back. Damn, this is a hot trainer. If you're a trail runner, this has to go in your stack. It wouldn't be Nike Radical Airflow with a bit of wind. This is the top you want, people.
Hi, my name is Jahan Behbahani. I'm the Senior Director of Apparel Innovation at Nike, and excited to share some information about one of our latest prototypes, Radical Airflow. We know that outdoor athletes face a lot of different challenges. Outdoor trail races can be anything from a vertical kilometer to multi-day staged events, and heat is one of the biggest challenges a lot of athletes have to combat. There's a lot of different strategies that athletes use to combat heat. We've seen anything from athletes packing ice to wet towels at aid stations to dumping water over themselves, or sometimes when an athlete gets to a water crossing, they might just submerge their body. The team was really excited to explore different solutions around this idea of radical cooling, or different strategies that athletes could use to regulate their body temperature. And leveraging our expertise in engineered knits and our Nike Sports Research Lab, the team got to work to think about how we might unlock a new way of solving that. Specifically here, the team explored a really specific engineered knit construction. What you'll see with this is these air ducts, these holes. What's special about them is they start larger and they gradiate to a smaller hole. That's really important, and there's a lot of science behind that. And before we get to that, I'll say that early prototypes, the team played with a lot of different size and shapes holes, a lot of different patterns and densities of holes, and where we landed was this idea of how might we increase the sensation of airflow across the skin. That's really important for athletes that are dealing with heat, because we know that one of the best ways for athletes to cool themselves is through evaporative sweat. So that's sweat that we're evaporating off of our skin. And airflow plays a hugely important role in being able to do that. So these holes, the construction, and why that's important is that what we know is that when airflow is able to accelerate through a constriction of a hole here specifically, it leverages a principle that falls within like Bernoulli's principle, specifically the Venturi effect. And what we know from that is that when air or a fluid is flowing through a constricted space, it increases velocity and drops pressure. And so the team was inspired by science to help create this new material. The big question we've been getting is, when can you get this? Excited to share that Radical Airflow will be coming to retail in summer of 2026 in men's and women's sizes in ACG, and excited to see you out on the trails wearing it.
Well, good luck at imaging. That's so awesome.
Thanks. That'll be fun. Seeing if they'll let me wear this.
Yeah.
Right, so we've just arrived at the AGC Athlete House where all the athletes for Nike are staying during UTMB, and we're going to have opportunity to meet a couple of the athletes and ask anything we like.
For me, just reminding myself that it's all temporary, and these races actually don't last that long. Like, in some ways 24 hours is a long time, but in a lot of ways it's not. It's like over in the blink of an eye. Remembering that and keeping things in perspective.
For me, it's really important to go into a race with the right mindset and know that that's going to happen and sort of like look forward to that. Like, I think if you are expecting a race to be easy, you're going to be really disappointed. And if I feel the most success in a race and the most satisfied with my performance if things do get really, really hard, and I know that that means that I'm pushing my limits and I've found like a new level for myself. So I think of it as sort of like, this is what I've been waiting for. This is the moment that I need to be able to push through in order to unlock my best day.
I try to really stay rooted in the present. So, knowing that I'm not the only one suffering. Everybody is out in the same conditions. It's not just me. And there's some people that are out there for double the length of time that I'm out there. And so, knowing that it's not just me and it's a community-based sport, even though it feels so individual at times, that's one thing that helps me kind of push through and power through.
Do you literally crash straight away, or does like the adrenaline keep you awake for as long as possible? What happens after a race?
I've got an answer that definitely involves crashing. My most recent race was Western States, and that was, I think, one of my most extreme post-race crashes.
Yeah.
It was one where, like, finishing a 100-mile race, you've paced yourself to be able to go 100 miles. If it was 101 miles, you could probably do one more. It's not that different.
Yeah.
But as soon as you stop, your body just turns off, and, like, your mental ability to keep pushing, when that stops and the adrenaline shuts down, everything for me shuts down really quickly, and it catches up to me. And like, after a race like that, you do a quick interview, you like give hugs to your crew, and then for me it was like instantly just waves of nausea. Like, I gotta get to the medical tent. You do drug testing after some of those races, and it's very much just like trying to hang on and do the final things you have to do before you can get home and lay in bed and take a shower.
But you also take so much caffeine during these races that for me, it's like the rest of the day I'm like amped in every other way, but I can't actually walk. So it's kind of this like weird dichotomy of like, okay, well, everything's shut off, but then since I didn't run 24 hours, I haven't gotten to that point yet. I think my brain is still very much like, let's go.
It was insane though, like really up close opportunity just to ask anything you like.
If I was a pro athlete, this is the house I'd want to be in.